That's the biggest change. More than any balance change, right? Here we go again. In the bottom right of Fracture, the Polish Zerg representing Team Clash with a Q. It's very dramatic when you say it like that. It's Elazer. Definitely the favorite in this match. But on the opposite side from Wolf's Lair Esports, the Ukrainian Protoss, taking out Future in the previous match pretty handily. Can he now take on a world-class Zerg? Hellraiser.
Good.
I'm just going to start saying Protoss and Zerg. This is going to be a real struggle. Nothing too out of the ordinary to start.
Good.
Actually,
now
nothing
I have your attention.
out of the ordinary. We have a hatch, a gas, and then a pool out of a laser. He may have taken his hatch a little bit earlier because this is a short rush distance map. You don't want a probe blocking you. But it's going to end up being that standard opener. A little bit of mineral micro out of Hellraiser. And then on the opposite side, Hellraiser with the gate expand, a pretty early probe scout as well. Down it. Every time. This is very dramatic probe scouting going on. But something to point out on Fracture, especially in Protoss versus Zerg. You got a tighter wall here. It takes just 2 larger buildings to wall off, of course, with a little space for a gap for an Adept or a Zealot or a Stalker. Which makes all-ins, especially early pools, a little more difficult. It is a smaller map, less bases than most. The rush distance is shorter. But you do have to factor that in when fighting off against Protoss. It doesn't have a ramp directly leading up to the natural, like, say, Dreamcatcher or Cerulean Fall, which makes it more vulnerable to later timings, like Ro8 timings, that don't care as much about what the wall exactly looks like, but care more about high ground. But I don't feel, especially in Game 1, I don't feel like Elazer. Elazer is kind of a timing-oriented Zerg player. He's very sharp execution. Doesn't necessarily want to just go all the way to Hive and Broodlords and Infestors or whatever.
Good.
But
now I have your attention.
I think he knows he's the favorite. He's probably played Hellraiser a bunch of times. He has a beat on his style. Why take any risks? Just play defensive and force the game, force more decisions to be made, force more micro and macro, and eventually you can pull out a lead if you're the better player. At least that's the usual thought process. And, of course, the Stargate, the staple of Protoss versus Zerg. It's going to be a Phoenix to start. A little bit of a different variety than Mana. Mana, I've been using that. I've actually personally really liked the Void Ray opener since I saw Mana using it. Check out Mana versus Bly from last week's matches. There's only one way to describe those matches. But the Phoenix into Oracle. Oh, a double star play. Double Stargate on Fracture. Hellraiser definitely breaking out some sneaky plays here. Customarily, on maps with such a small distance between the bases, this isn't as popular of a play because you can walk the queens across the map. In European Zergs, they do love walking queens across the map. If you've watched any WCS circuit. But you can just walk the queens across the map. You have 3 or 4 extra queens on top of maybe a Hydra or Ro8 timing. And that double star, not going to be able to get too much damage done. Now, the objective here is the first round of Phoenixes. You get 4, maybe 5. He's getting +1. He's fully committed to this. He's added 2 Zealots, which is partially because he's not going to have that much gas. And 2, you want to sell that this isn't what it is. Now, if Elazer gets up here with a Zergling and he sees the Cybercore for some reason still upgrading, like, still spinning, that's a giveaway. I'm not sure how many people are actually looking for that. That's it's not advanced scouting, but it's just not something you really factor in that often. I might be completely wrong, and every Zerg above 5,500 MMR does that, no problem. It's so obvious, you check for that, so easy, but Double Stargate is definitely in the minority of transitions out of the early Stargate opener. Just because if it's scouted early, it can be shut down, very simply. It's slammed, and Elazer knows. He knows. I don't know exactly how he got the tell, but he's already got the double spore crawlers in the main. He's made multiple queens. He's got 7 on the field right now. There are 8 phoenixes, which is not enough. He's already got more spore crawlers on the way. I guess he was hedging his bets, and now Elazer's confirmed that is indeed what it is. So he's making sure he has the spore crawlers. He's at 67 drones, despite making 6 spores and counting. So Hellraiser's going to get very, very little with these first phoenixes. He's killed a grand total of 1 drones, which is not very many drones. In fact, literally the least he could do. Well, don't get technical with me. 5 more drones go down. I think he got a phoenix out of it, though. Yeah. I mean, you can't just go ground now. You still have to go phoenix, because he's invested hundreds of gas, thousands of gas now in these phoenixes, if you count the Stargates and the upgrades and everything behind it. So you have to keep Elazer contained while you transition into the ground. I think he's realizing at this point, this is not his late game strat. It's not going to be immediate carriers or something behind it. It usually isn't. But he wants to keep Elazer busy enough so that this Queen Hydra timing can't kill him. Now the problem is, the Queen Hydra timing is coming together very quickly. Already groove spines and +1 are done. +2 missile attacks for the Hydras and Queens on the way. Once muscular augments for the Hydras is finishing, I don't see any reason Elazer doesn't attack. There's charge coming up. Double immortals. The stasis could save the day, especially if Elazer's a little lazy and doesn't build overseers. 5 more gates and a Templar 6 more gates. You see, I knew before he even did it. And a Templar archives. But Elazer powered up so many drones early. The queens are already at the doorstep. There are force fields. Which will buy him very little time, but time. He's gonna try to get some pickoffs here. Everything. Ooh, I don't want to lose anything, but if these shield batteries can come up, how much energy? He's got 2 force fields on each. 2 should be enough to prevent. Oh, you can't be wasting those. Elazer's knocking on the door, but the question is, does Hellraiser have an answer? He's pushing through. How many more force fields? Just a single one. Okay, he boxes out a lot of this. Isolates the Hydras to the north side. The shield batteries are online. Cannons at the back. Hellraiser is holding for now. A solid defense. Zerglings are trickling through, though. The defense starts to break. The Phoenix is being targeted down. The Stasis War gets a few Zerglings, but not nearly enough to stop this in its tracks. The transfuses, the backstop for the Hydras. The Immortals holding the line, but the Queen's holding it down. And Elazer rolls over for game number 1. Hellraiser put a roadblock in his way, but Elazer easily passed it. And that's a pretty solid, decisive victory to kick off the series.
Yeah, you can take me there. Yeah, you can take me there.
We're going to blue ship.
Yeah, you can take me there.
That was decisive. Like I mentioned, Hellraiser going double Stargate. And that's why you don't see double Stargate on that map very often. And Elazer hitting a sharp timing. Not surprised there either. Alright. We're back. Hellraiser top right, Elazer bottom left. Yeah, try to keep... I'm gonna try to enunciate, guys. I'm sorry. It's not that it's gonna help very much. Are we gonna see any cannon rushes? Now, I'm trying to think back to the future matches. Now, that was Protoss versus Terran, so very different. You can still see cannon rushes. There's potential, but will he break it out in a PvZ? The shield battery cannons are really just... They're the proxy 2 racks, or the proxy hatch of Protoss in this match. In this matchup, rather. We'll follow the probe. Why do they change? Why are we not enforcing them to stay as the same color? I do like the green and the red. We got the Christmas colors, which means screw you, colorblind people. We are discriminating against you, but that's fine. It just means you don't see color, which is good on you. So, a little bit of mining micro from Hellraiser here. Just trying to bounce those drones off the patches, maybe deny a tiny bit of mine. Is he actually clicking on them? Yes, they're actually battling. This is like a little micro duel here. But shouldn't have a huge effect overall. Now, this is kind of a holdover even from... This mattered a little more back when you started with 6 workers. Now you start with so many workers. Mining from the close patches is important, but not as important. I'm not going to get into the depths of the map on the mining micro when I average like 5 idle workers a game, so... We're going to start the game exactly the same. That's what we're going to do. Wait. Elazer, where's your third? So this is another stylistic difference between, well, for Zerg players. Some Zerg players will get their third base and delay one of their first 2 queens in order to be able to get the third a little quicker. Some Zerg players will just get the first 2 queens, get lings, and then get a third, which means you get your third a little bit later on, but you're safer against early pressure, like very early pressure. So Elazer opting to take the third base a little later, gets his queens up, gets his lings up, but that means he's not going to have the additional production quite as quick. Not a huge difference either way, but it does kind of show the style of game he wants to play. Once again, a Phoenix. He's like... Now, the Stargate is so ambiguous. It could be anything here. Like, there's double gas. He doesn't necessarily have to mine from this double gas. And Elazer starting to think like, you gonna fake me out here? The question is, what's next for Hellraiser? Does he just go for another Stargate again? All right, round 2, everybody. Every time. The Spore Crawler not quite done. He can get the pickup. There will be drone kills here. Nicely done. Hellraiser committing the Chrono Boost, I believe. Or, now this is another part of taking the third base a little later. Well, you can't be losing the Oracle. That would have balanced it out immediately. What happened here? It looks like the Adept shaded in. No? I don't know what I'm talking about. Just ignore me. Just mute the stream. But that is another thing with getting the third base a little later. You can't get the Spore Crawler quite as quick. That might have factored in. A Roach War and a Lair. But I think Elazer is going to be like, you're not going to go double star again. He's setting himself up to defend an Archon drop right now. The Roach Warren, the Lair, the Evolution Chamber. He's looking for a third. Hellraiser has sold him, it looks like. He's sold him on the Archon drop. 2 Adepts, a later third, a Zealot. The Oracle's at home. If Elazer makes Roaches, he's taking the bait. We'll have to see as the Roach Warren finishes. 6 more drones on the way. Oh my god. Well done. This time this time Elazer's buying what Hellraiser is selling. But that's a counterfeit third. Well, okay. I could have come up with a better analogy, but it's a bluff. He's making it look because you make a Zealot or 2. This looks all the timings line up for Archon drop, and he has not revealed additional Phoenixes. This is going to do a lot more damage. The last thing you want against Mass Phoenix is just a middle amount of Roaches without speed. Like, these Roaches do nothing. They are just a waste of money. They're going to slow down the drones. The Queens! Is he actually not going to fight that? He doesn't fight. I felt like he could have fought that. Hellraiser just being very safe here, but... yeah. It seemed like the opportunity to jump on the Queens. They're not under a Spore, not that much energy. But he does have the opportunity to do damage. Queens, not that scary. If they don't have the creep across the map. And this map is further. He's focused a little bit less on the creep. Roaches were built, but I'm not sure if Hellraiser saw that. So Elazer's going the full macro route. He sends out the Roaches because the Roaches are useless, essentially. They are in the mineral line here. They will kill probes. The Oracle's turned on. He's not going to bring all the Phoenixes back. Smart moves. How many probes? Okay, like, the Roaches, that's way more probes than the Roaches should ever got. But, yeah, that's definitely more than they should have ever got. Maybe 1 or 2, not 7. But Elazer has been slowed down. He is supply blocked, and he's just now starting Ovies, which means there's no follow-up timing. There's a counterattack coming out of Hellraiser, correctly assessing that at this time, Elazer's not actually building units. He can't build units. He's doing a great job. Elazer's at 72 drones, but there is not a timing... not nearly as effective as there was in the previous match. Last game, how many drones were killed? There was like 2 or 3 on the Phoenixes before Hydra started popping out. It ended up being like 9 or 10, but later on. So, and more Spore Crawlers being built. Hellraiser, while he did lose probes, he was able to maintain, like, he's going to get his infrastructure up. 6 more gates. The Hydra's... oh, Elazer going straight. Oh, he wants to attack now. Elazer's saying, I need to try to do damage. I can't let this Protoss get to the zombie toss death ball. Okay, I can't. So, the muscular augments indicates he wants to attack now. He's skipping groove spawns. You don't want to skip groove spawns if you don't have to, because that significantly increases the effectiveness of the Hydras with that extra range. Oh, oh, oh. Oh. A little sloppy there. Not the end of the world, but... Storm has begun. If Storm finishes, and there are several Templar on the field, then Hellraiser is in a fine spot. But Elazer, he's getting the groove spines now. Is he going to attack? Is it time to go? Does he feel like he has enough? Yeah, Muscular Augments is done. Will the Queens be coming as well? He's moving up to the north. He might just sit back. That is an option. He did take the 4th, but... even though he has the supply, maybe he got Muscular Augments to be able to move better against the Phoenixes, but I don't know. +2 attack. He had... how many Archons on the way? 3 Templar. Storm should finish. It should finish in time. Whoop. Yeah, but without those groove spines, you can't pick off so easily. Here we go again. But this time there are Archons. There's gonna be Storm. How many? Not that many Immortals, but Storm is better than Immortals in this scenario. That's a lot of Hydras. Storm is done in 4 seconds. He needs to hold. 1, 0. The storm is on the table. He needs the storms, and he needs them now. A storm at the start. Are the feedbacks there? Is he going to use them? Oh, big storms on the Hydras to the north. A huge warp and a charge launch. He's starting to work his way through. The Phoenixes come in for the pickups. The Hydra count is thinning out. The Zealots being warped in on top of everything. An Archon morphs in off of the Templar. The Hydra's almost all gone. It's Queens versus Immortals. In the battle of who can walk slower, who's gonna come out on top? The Immortals are holding the line. They are gonna pull back. A bit of energy on a shield battery saves another one. The Archon in the front, so important. Still, Phoenixes survive from the fight. A single Phoenix, but it's enough. And Hellraiser holds. The Spore Crawlers are coming forward. But Elazer behind this, he doesn't have another level of tech. He doesn't have a Lurker Den. He just lost 11 Queens, 35 Hydras, and, well, the Lings don't matter that much, but they are larvae, they are minerals. Another round of Hydras coming in. There are not storms here. The Hydras still have potential, if there are enough of them. The charge lots have to be in front. How much energy on these Templar? We're not there yet. 65, needs about 10 more seconds. The Immortal's holding the line. Doesn't want to lose any more Archons. Elazer still following up with this time, and that Archon caught in a bad spot. Gotta be very careful. He needs the Templar. Charge slots warping in, +2 attack a few seconds out. Elazer continuing to pile on the pressure. Hellraiser not out of the woods yet. Storm off the bat. Good, but is it good enough? Gets the Archon morph off. But the Hydras are splitting well. The Immortals forced back. The Archon gonna be picked off. Hellraiser starting to crumble. He held, but there were cracks in the armor. The Immortals, he's targeting down charge lots as they come in. The Immortals have to do so much work. 23 kills, 9 kills. Another Immortal comes up. A Baneling nest on the way. Elazer, 69 drones behind this to 62 workers of Hellraiser. He's actually mining from that base. He does have a fourth. That is important to point out. A sentry comes up. It's a brute force battle right now. That sentry, oh my god, what a save. And he keeps the sentry alive, but now the Immortals are cut off. Some charge lots coming in to reinforce. He's got the creep to the front door. But can he pass through the threshold? Elazer's got another base to the south. Doesn't have... Oh, gonna cut off these Zealots. There's no pylon at this base to warp in. He's gonna be forced to warp in more. Another Archon coming up. Elazer still maintaining a supply lead. More probes could be falling here. He needs the Zerglings in front to be able to eat the charges from the charge knots. And, of course, you don't want the Immortals blasting into your Hydras. A big thing, there's no Templar. There are no storms banking up. It's a brute force battle. If he can get storms out, that would be amazing, but does he have time for that? He really wants to hold on to him, but he can't. The Immortal count is starting to build up here. Oh no! Zerglings get into the main and the natural. It's a disaster right now for Hellraiser. Just no Zealot in the wall. He has to attack. He has no choice. His economy being gutted. He held the line, but Elazer slipped through the defenses. A few charge lots in the main. The Archons, oh, that's a lot of, that is a danger, that's a lot of Overlords. But Zerglings in this base as well. Elazer's supply blocked right now in an awkward turn of events. 18 probes have died. But Hellraiser has to pull back. Oh god, he's losing 28. It just keeps piling up. The Zerglings, they're too much. It's not the huge attack at the front. The slight backstab with a couple dozen Lings take the game. And Elazer holds on and takes a 2-game lead.
Let's run away and be forever young. We'll catch the sun where there's no need to run. Wherever you go, yeah, you can take me.
A little bit. Oh my god. Calm down.
Yeah, you can take me there.
That was a lot closer, but Elazer still found his timing. That shows the strength. Like, the double Stargate is not a bad build. I think it worked in his favor that he did it, and it just kind of bombed in game one, to be honest. It just did not work at all, and Elazer was definitely not expecting it again. I feel he could have dove on the Queens. It's such a hard decision to make. Like, you don't want to lose any Phoenixes early, but at the same time, you don't want to lose any Queens in that scenario. So, like, I felt like that was maybe the opportunity, but couple storms here or there, and a couple more warp-ins. A zealot in the wall. Looks different, but now we're on match point. Elazer threatening the clean sweep. Here we go. Hellraiser showing he's not a pushover. That was very. If he holds on to 4 bases, it's very difficult for Hydroling to actually compete with that on that economy. So, well, we'll see. In the top right of Lost and Found for Team Clash, the Polish Zerg, Elazer up 2-0. And in the top left from Wolf's Lair Esports, the Ukrainian Protoss, Hellraiser. Do we mix it up at all? Like, does he go double star? This is the best map, probably, to go double star. It's a definitely better than the last 2. Does he do it again? There's the mind game of he did it twice in a row. He surely won't do it again. It's like Maru with proxy Raxes. I think he does. I think he does. Maybe he goes Oracles this time to mix it up a little bit. But still, the double star. We'll see the micro here, the intensity. It's the most important part of the game. Everybody knows that. The real battle. You might see nothing on the screen, but the battle is being fought, believe me. The little right clicks on that mineral pad. Oh no! Will he go for the kill? Does he get him? Does he get him? Okay, he doesn't risk it. We're getting more and more dramatic here. Okay. Elazer gonna be going for the slightly later third, but still early third. All right. Is he not going Stargate? He is going Stargate. 3, 2, 1. Adept coming out. It feels like it's a little late, considering the Adept's almost done. Maybe too much probe micro. I don't know. Well, we will see. Thank you guys while I have this, Tom. Thank you for tuning in. We got 2 more matches today, and then we're going to have 3 tomorrow as well. Same time, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. European time. And 2 a.m. Korean time. Tomorrow for the round of 4, which is 2 best of 5s, and then the finals, which is a best of 7 between, I almost said Cyril and whoever wins this side of the bracket, but I'm speaking too soon. We'll find out. But the 2 more matches today are actually going to be sick as well. The first 2, obviously, Elazer is of a different level than Hellraiser. We're seeing it so far, but not 100% yet. And then Uthermal took a pretty solid victory, 3-1 over Rail. But Mana versus Masa. Mana is right on that. Like, he did not qualify for BlizzCon. Well, real quick, as I promote the next match while we're in this match. But Mana, 13th in the WCS circuit, and Masa's 20th. So, in the same range there. And Masa beat Neeb to get this far. Mana beat Bly in that previous match. Epic match. But that was a different match. This match is what matters. What's next, Hellraiser? Don't do it again. Are you going to do it? He goes 3 stars. He's not getting any more tech. Oh, Robo. Okay. It's going to be a Robo. I'm not sure where his gas is going. He's adding on more oracles. He's adding on more oracles. He might continue all the way up to 4 oracles. But, a lot of Zergs are like, what a boracle. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. No. I stopped myself. It's just a Robo expand? I'm kind of confused. Like, he's got... Hellraiser has 400 gas. Elazer has gas, but it makes a little bit more sense as a Zerg to have gas because you can make such a swell of units. And he's got his lair finishing. I'm very... confused is a word. What are you doing, Hellraiser? I guess he's trying to get a beat on what Elazer's doing, but he's waited a long time to get his Twilight in his Forge. And that opens him up to, like, just dying to roaches. There are 5 roaches on the way. Elazer not committing to an all-in. There are 4 oracles on the field. And those kill queens and drones very quick. That's enough to kill a Spore as well, without losing any oracles, assuming there aren't queens to support it. Elazer, what has he seen? He hasn't seen a Robo. I believe he saw the setup here. I guess building that many oracles is a little bit of a giveaway. It's not Mass Phoenix as well.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Loses 1, but I love this combo here. The Observer Oracle combo. And that's going to give away the Robo if he didn't know already. I think he might have gotten vision. I don't know. Still no vision. And a rush straight up to Templar Archives. I think that's a smart choice. We should see the gate explosion in just a moment. Right around, well, actually 65 probes. He has waited a long time to add on these gates, which, if he gets away with it, is good for Hellraiser. Usually you'll see Protosses going for the gates between 50 and 60 probes, usually closer to 50. He waited till 65, which left him wide open for a potential timing. And there's still a small window, but Elazer has played very safe, crossed his T's, dot his I's, hit his Spore Crawlers. Ooh. Loses 1. The other one takes a bruising. But he's gotten away with it thus far. A Lurker Den's already on. Like, Elazer is playing pretty textbook here. He's not taking big risks, and even though he's let Hellraiser go, if you shoot up... By the way, this Terror music in Protoss versus Zerg really spicing it up. If you get 75 drones and a quick 4th, it doesn't really matter if you let the Protoss go on 3 bases. 4 bases you have to worry about. Like, that's important for Elazer to know when that's happening.
Now I have your attention.
But the Lurker Den's on the way. I mean, Elazer's not at any threat here. Until you see a Warp Prism or Charge Lance going out, there's no way a direct attack can hurt Elazer. Maybe he can't attack himself, but we're going into the classical PvZ. The Lurker Roach Hydra versus the Immortal Archon. Well, no Archons yet. There's an Archon. The Immortal Archon Charge Lot. Some Dropper Lords on the way. Elazer going to try to batter down the door again. This time a little bit differently, but similar intentions. Hellraiser should have the tools, though. He has to be in position. He has not seen the Lurker. Oh, he sees the Lurkers morphing in now. Or there's a lot of Storm on the table. The first Lurker's already taken a lot of damage. Some nice tags. Lazer's not going to find much in this angle. Roaches in the drop here. There's no reason Elazer has to back off, is another part of it. He's nearly he's maxed out, essentially. Does he have an infestation pit? He doesn't. He actually doesn't have a transition. He's going for it. He's just going to try to blast his way through. Roach drop in the main. Roach drop in the net. This one cleaned up. Bot charge not. Storms at the front. The Lurker's not yet encroaching on the Nexus, but they're getting damn close. A big Storm on the Hydra. Still a lot of Lurkers in a great position. There's well, the Observer targeted down. There's a tag on the Lurkers. Will he actually be able to get through the charge lots on the left side? The Archon gonna make it out just barely for now. We'll see how long it lived. 21 probes have died. Mostly to these roach drops. It's not the big flashy damage at the front. It's the backstabs that keep doing it for Elazer here. And Hellraiser just, he's defending, but not as well as he could be. And it's really starting to add up. He's got money in the bank. Where are the Archons? Changelings are blocking an Immortal alongside Zerglings. Does he have any Templar? There are no Templar. When he's spending attacks on Changelings, Hydras are coming. Oh my god. Elazer making some stylish moves here. GG. And he will end up taking it convincingly 3-0. That game, it really felt, to be honest, like Hellraiser was just not decisive in what he wanted to do. And he got punished for it. Like, Elazer macroed up 4 bases, maxes out with lurkers, and then kills him. Hellraiser, on the other hand, didn't add on production or a 4th base very quickly, so ended up just getting overrun. It, like, none of those games felt like walkovers, but they also didn't feel like Hellraiser was ever at a position where he could win. Maybe positions where he wouldn't lose, but winning was different. Oh. Okay, maybe for when we have Neeb versus Serral, I should turn off my Serral portrait, because that seems a little... I will... For Neeb versus Serral, I will use the Neeb portrait in solidarity. That's the plan. We're already into the next match. I want to thank Avex for all those gift subs and everybody who's